shall you, here to report about the racism in America. With recent shootings such as the Charleston shooting, the police brutality with Michael Brown, and how these relate to what Twain depicted as an ignorant and cruel society. The Charleston shooting is about a white man who unfortunately shot 9 African Americans, and they all died. The white gunman claimed that he shot these 9 people only because they were simply black. This shows how even in the present society, there's still unfortunately racist people who are willing to kill others simply because of their skin color. Now with recent events of police brutality, the case with Michael Brown is just one example. The young man was shot to death by a white officer who claimed that the young man stole a couple boxes of cigarillos and tried to escape. However, before he did, his life ended when the police officer shot him. This event caused chaotic confusion, and people began to hold uprising conflicts. Racism has its place when it comes to society, and when it comes to our presidential candidate, Donald Trump, racist comments has been used. Donald Trump has actually offended 10 groups ever since his campaign has started. Some of these groups were Mexicans, African Americans, American Muslims, and even Asians. Trump has offended Mexicans by calling them rapists, drug dealers, and simply bad people. And Trump also claimed that American Muslims has been celebrating 9/11 ever since the Paris attacks. He also claimed that African Americans has killed more members of any race than any other group. And lastly, Trump has been impersonating Asian negotiators by using broken English.
Mexico sends its people. They're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Apparently, a white man in a town hall has actually accused a Muslim, calling them all terrorists, to the point that he does not want to hear from any of them. Such action demonstrated by this white man implied that an assumption of a religion could actually lead to total hatred of all its followers.
In my power to make sure that does not happen. We don't want it because you are terrorists. Every one of you are terrorists. I don't care what you say. I don't want it. You can smile at me. You can say whatever you want. But every Muslim is a terrorist.
The woman taking this video, Munira Salim Abdallah, was on the front page of the Freelance Star.
It was horrible. It was really horrible to be called a terrorist. It is so sad that people are so ignorant, and unfortunately, I understand the fear. Of course, there's got to be fear. All of us have fear, including the Muslims, because the people who did what they did are not Muslims.
According to Twain's depiction of a cruel society, the Charleston shooting can be compared with the incident of Pop and his feelings towards blacks from the book The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. The shooting that took place in Charleston happened because the gunman simply hated blacks, and Pop, a character from Huckleberry Finn, claimed that he drowned out from the voting simply because he found out a black man could vote. The two characters show a similar feeling of hatred towards blacks, so far to the point one would either kill to get rid of them, or they would just simply not get involved with the blacks in general. Lastly, with the case of Town Hall, the incident of Town Hall can be compared with the incident of Judith Loftus. Her conversation with Huck about the runaway slave was a bit similar to the conversation between the white racist man and the Muslim. Judith's choice of words, calling Jim a sly and assuming that he will be alright after running away, indicates that she wouldn't care what would happen to Jim unless he was found with a $300 reward. As for the case of Town Hall, the pitiful Muslim had to deal with the name-calling. This can show that in a cruel society, ignorant people can go as far as beyond the limits when it comes to hatred.